Once you've validated your hypotheses and have confidence that there's something there, it will be important to build a business case to justify why the team should spend the time solving the problem that you identified. A business case answers the question, why should the company do this and invest in it? The goal is to convince sponsors and stakeholders to approve the project. You don't always need to go to this level of detail for everything though. For example, adding a new feature to an existing product. In this case, for smaller projects, the PRD will likely have enough detail. But for an entirely brand new product that you're going to build from the ground up, you will need to be able to justify the larger investment. Is it worth continuing this project? Does it make sense? In order to help executives make this decision, these are the types of things you'll want to make sure are in the business case. You'll want to clearly outline the business problem, what the benefits are to solving the problem, the associated costs and risks, as well as possible solutions and a timeline. It's also super helpful to provide an overview of what the competition is doing. Now let's walk through how you can structure all of this in your business case document. These are the components: executive summary, problem statement, analysis of product opportunity, possible solutions, and recommended approach. Let's go into more detail. For the executive summary, it should summarize the entire document, including the recommendation. If people only read this and walk away, they should understand exactly what it is you're trying to do. It's also the first thing that people read, but usually it'll be the last thing that you write to make sure that everything is cohesive. For the problem statement, you want to give an overview of the problem and why it matters. Why is this something that's important to solve? What is the goal behind solving this problem? And how does solving this problem link back to business strategy and business goals? In the analysis of the product opportunity, you want to answer the question, why is this important for the business to address? And what is the cost of the problem or the size of the opportunity? For possible solutions, you'll want to detail each possible solution. For each one, you should discuss the benefits, the cost in terms of people, time, or money that will need to be spent, as well as a timeline and risks. When you're putting together this information, it's super important to use as much data as possible. This will help to build confidence in the business case. And for the recommended approach, here you want to explain which approach you're recommending as the best one and why. Now I'm going to share a few tips about putting together a business case. You'll want to tailor it to your audience. Knowing your audience is super important. You should be aware of who you need to convince and get approval from, and tailor the business case to be super relevant to that person and make sure that you're answering all of their concerns. It's also important to use language that's familiar with your audience. Keep it short and concise. There's definitely a lot of stuff that you need to cover, but the key is to only include relevant information that will be helpful to making a decision. You can always include links to other documents if people want more information. It's also going to be important to make it interesting. You want people to walk away feeling super excited about solving this problem. And lastly, make sure you demonstrate the business value. Again, the more data that you can provide here, the better outcome that you're going to have because it creates confidence. We just talked through what a business case is, what are the components that go into a business case, and some tips that you can keep in mind when you're putting one together.